Lawn fertilizer comes in 12.5-pound bags costing $19.24 each, and each bag covers 5,000 square feet. A large playfield is in the shape of a square here, surmounted on the side with a triangular area on the left here, and on the other side, a semicircle, half a circle here. So those three portions make up our playing field. And we have two measurements here. The top part of the square is 200 feet, and the bottom entire length of the field is 350 feet. What we want to do is find the cost of the fertilizer to fertilize the whole field there. So we'll round it up to the nearest bag of fertilizer because that's how we have to purchase fertilizer. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what are the formulas for the area of a triangle, a square, and a circle. So first one, the area of a triangle, remember, is 1/2 base times height. The area for a square, you could think of it as a rectangle of length times width, or if it's a square, let's just say that the side of a square is S, so it'd be S times S, or S squared. And finally, the area of a circle, recall from our notes, is pi r squared. So we need to use both of those, or all three of those formulas to calculate the area of the entire playfield. So first thing we need is a few more dimensions. One way to start is we know that the one side of the square is 200 feet, so that means the other side of the square would also be 200 feet. We can also get the radius of our circle, which is going to be half of that side, which is actually the diameter of our circle. So that would be 100 feet. So the radius is 100 feet. And the trickier part is, what is the base of just the triangle here? So since we know the square is 200 on a side, then this part of the square is 200. That leaves 150 feet left over for the base of our triangle. So that's got to be 150 feet. So from here, we can finally calculate all of the areas of those three pieces and add them up. So the area is going to equal, first the triangle, 1/2 times the base of 150 feet times the height, 200 feet. And then we'll add to it the square. So add to it the 200 feet quantity squared. We'll square everything there. And finally, we have really just half a circle. So I'm going to start out with 1/2 times pi r squared, or 1/2 times pi times 100 feet squared. And when we add all of this up, I get about 70,707.96 square feet. So our last thing to do is use our dimensional analysis to convert this area, which is now the total area of the entire field, to use dimensional analysis to go from the square feet to how many bags we need, and finally to the cost. So let's start out with our area, 70,707.96 square feet. We know that one bag covers 5,000 square feet, so there's our conversion factor. Multiplying and dividing gives us 14.14 bags, but we need to round that up to the nearest bag, so let's go with 15 bags. And finally, we can now multiply that by the cost per bag. So the cost is 15 bags times the $19.24 per bag. The bags will cancel out, and we get a total cost of $288.60, and obviously that's pre-tax, so we don't know what the tax is. Painting a silo. A grain silo is in a cylinder surmounted by a hemisphere. So surmounted just means attached to it. And a hemisphere is really just half of a sphere, half of a ball sitting on top of it here. The cylindrical part is 30 feet in diameter across the base there, and 100 feet tall. So that doesn't include the hemisphere. That's just the cylindrical part up to the top here, the gray part there. So that's 110 feet. The farmer wants to paint it in WSU Cougar colors. So find the cost to paint the silo. And there's some information that wasn't given in the original problem, and in class we did give it out. So the first part was, how much does a paint cost? So $250 is about what a 5-gallon bucket of paint is. So each 5-gallon bucket, $250. Also, a single gallon of paint will cover 400 square feet. So those are the two missing pieces that we would have to research to get to actually solve this problem. The other thing that's kind of missing is we need to find out what the surface area formulas are for both a sphere and for a cylinder. So to start with, let's take a look at the surface area of a sphere or a ball. So if we have a sphere with a radius r, the surface area is 4 times pi r squared. There. So using the radius of the sphere, just like our radius of our circle on it. Now, the cylindrical part is a little bit trickier in that if we draw our cylinder, if we slice it down, right down the side here, then we can take that cylinder and actually lay it out flat, and it becomes really just a rectangle. So a cylinder is really just a rectangular piece of paper wrapped up into a cylinder. So if we think of it as a rectangle, then we can see that the rectangle has a height, h, and the length of it is either pi times the diameter, or it would be 2 pi r, because it's really just the circumference of this circle right here. So it's either pi times d, the diameter, or 2 pi r, which gives us the surface area, or the area of that cylindrical part, is pi times d times h. So now we have all of the pieces that we can use to calculate the total surface area of this silo, and then we'll convert it and see how much it costs. So our surface area, let's start out with the hemisphere, and it's really just half of this sphere. So I'm going to start out with our surface area being 1/2 times 4 pi. The radius is 15 feet, because that's half of 30 there, 15 squared. Let's add to it the cylindrical part, so that would be pi times the diameter, 30 feet, times the height of 110 feet. And when we multiply this out and add the two pieces together, we get a total area of 11,780.97 square feet. So from here, we now need to take this total surface area and figure out how many gallons or buckets of paint we need. So let's start with that surface area, the 11,780.97 square feet. I'll multiply it by our first conversion factor of how many square feet 1 gallon can cover, but I'm going to put the square feet in the denominator, so it'll be 1 gallon for every 400 square feet. Here our feet will cancel. And then we can multiply that by 1 bucket of paint is every 5 gallons. So from our units, we can see that the feet cancel, the square feet cancel, the gallons cancel, and we're really just left now with buckets. So multiplying and dividing, we get 5.89 buckets, or let's round that up to about 6. So we're going to need 6 5-gallon buckets of paint, and calculating the total cost, 6 buckets times $250 per bucket gives me $1,500 to paint my silo in Cougar colors. So, go Cougs!